You know when you mess up on the screen. I started on the wrong screen. Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Even made myself laugh there. So, who is Jose Mourinho's secret signing? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. But first of all, I want to get into it before I go through it. And we've set it up different for you. And we've got the live comments and we've got images and stuff. So I think you're going to really enjoy it. But I just want to start off with something that I think there's a lot of frustration going around with Manchester United fans at the moment, which I do understand. But the transfer window doesn't officially open until July the 1st, but it is now 17 days until we come back to pre-season training. We need to have more than Lindelof. And I was thinking about this today, and the one thing that I would repeat that does bother me a little bit about Manchester United is that when you look back to the Pogba signing last summer, that was the prototype for where I thought Manchester United was going, and I think where a lot of Manchester United fans thought we were going, and we're in a bit of confusion at the moment, and that confusion could easily be solved. There's plenty of time. But the Pogba deal, let's not kid ourselves. Pogba was more interested in Real Madrid and Barcelona, and what Manchester United did is, a £60 million player, they came in and offered 90, and Real Madrid and Barcelona couldn't do that. And Juventus were like, well, we ain't selling you, I don't care what Paul Pogba wants, you're not having him for 60 million when we can get another 30 on top of that. If you want to go, you're going to Manchester United. And Mini Raiola and Pogba sort of were like, well, you know, I can earn a lot of money here, let's go and do it. And we did it, and we got the deal done. What frustrates me a little bit is that when I read things like Barcelona's 3 targets this summer of Verratti, Bellerin and Ousmane Dembele, I think, well, apart from Bellerin, who I actually do rate Bellerin, I think he's okay, but take him out the equation, Verratti and Dembele would be perfect for what we need. We need a midfielder and we need a winger. So they would be perfect. So why can't we get them? Well, the first stumbling block is they want to go to Barcelona, but that's not a major stumbling block. And I see so many fans saying, oh, that's a stumbling block. It isn't. It's not a stumbling block because Pogba didn't necessarily want to come to Manchester United. I think he wanted to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. But you can change a player's mind with the dollar because they're all bothered about the pound and the dollar and whatever else, the euro. So I'm reading today that Barcelona, if they want Ousmane Dembele, have got to pay £79 million. Well, why don't we, and this is what frustrates me about United a little bit, it's the whole Glazer effect, because that is something that is a problem and always has been a problem. Because how I would sell the Dembele thing is, instead of messing around for Perisic for £30 million, who's 28, I'd look at Dembele, who's 20, and think he is going to be the best midfielder, the best winger in world football in 3 or 4 years' time. I will go to Borussia Dortmund and say there's £100 million. Now, he might want to go to Barcelona, but I would say I will pay you another 20 grand a week more than what Barcelona will. And Borussia Dortmund will do what Juventus did. They'll say to Barcelona, are you going to pay £100 million? Because United are. And Barcelona have then got a decision to make. Do they want to spend £100 million or not? And if they don't, then Dortmund will say to Dembele, you're under contract. You're not going to Barcelona for £79 million, whether you want to or not. United want to pay £100 million. And then Dembele's got a choice to make. And he probably does what Pogba does and thinks, you know what, I will go to Manchester United. And that is what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be accepting that Verratti and Dembele want to go to Barcelona or Mbappe wants to go to Real Madrid. We should just be whacking in with the most money. We're rich enough to do it. The reason we're not doing it is because we are owned by businessmen who want us to make money and they don't want to overpay. They did it last year for Pogba. Why don't you do it again? That's why we're not getting the big players, I feel. 100%. But there you go. I don't know whether you agree with that or not, but that is what I think. Anyway, we've got your live comments up. It's going to be a little bit interactive tonight, and hopefully this will all work. But before I do anything like that, let's catch up on the latest Manchester United news, because I'll admit, been a little bit off the ball in relation to United's transfer news so far. So let's have a look. Let's get the OneFootball app, which you can download for free in the video description. I'm using it a lot at the moment, and I'm following Manchester United. So if we click Manchester United, let's have a look at what the latest Manchester United news is. He says, okay, Manchester United revisit Portugal to bolster their midfield. That's Talisca. Oh, I've just got to say about Talisca today. I did a video at lunchtime about Lewandowski, which is clearly a load of nonsense. But I had somebody commenting below, and I had to delete it. And I don't like deleting comments, but it was actually quite offensive. He was basically calling me a liar, saying you've never watched Talisca in your life. or you've seen his YouTube clips. Now, I'm not a fan of Talisca from he's Benfica, but he's on loan at Besiktas, I think. But I have seen him play. I've seen him play about 3 times last season. And most Manchester United fans have seen him play. This is what these idiots don't understand. Besiktas played Lyon in the Europa League a couple of months ago over 2 legs, and Talisca scored 2 goals. So that's 2 games everybody will have seen him playing straight away. Not good enough. And if I judged Talisca on YouTube comments, I'd be saying he was a good player because YouTube comments over-egg the pudding. I'm saying he's not a good player because I've actually spent some time watching him play. So get back in your box, whoever who says that. I mean, to be honest with you, I find it really annoying. What do people think I do? I spend my time, you know, on YouTube or making up lies. I've been doing this for 3 years. I've always been passionate about transfer news, and I've got a wide knowledge of European and world football. I've been going on about Hirving Lozano for 24 months now. I don't just pick them out of a hat. I'm interested in football. I've been interested in football all my whole life. And it annoys me when people come out with it on Twitter and stuff. Oh, you've never watched them play. Well, maybe you haven't. Maybe a lot of people haven't. I'm not saying it makes you a better fan or anything, but some people actually do spend their time watching a lot of football, as I am one of them. Bayern Munich warned Manchester United that Robert Lewandowski is not for sale. Yeah, apparently they're threatening to get a ban on it, get us into trouble. Juventus confirmed Dani Alves will be leaving the club this summer. That's relevant in relation to Darmian. Dimarzio was on about that again. And Man United on the verge of completing a 3-year deal for Frenchman. Let's have a look at that one. I haven't seen that one today, so let's have a look. Could be nonsense. Is it going to be Matuidi? Could it be Mbappe? Let's wait and see. Yeah, it's Matuidi again, isn't it? So, yeah, well, I'd like that to happen. Let's wait and see. And obviously, this is one. Adnan Januzaj set to join Real Sociedad this summer for £11 million, which I think is a very good, very good deal for Manchester United. I really do. But let me just do something that you can do here before we crack on with the secret signing. So that's the OneFootball app. Link is in the video description. Very, very good app to get all your information. You know, you can get notifications and that, but I like this bit of it. So Ousmane Dembele, let's have a look at his stats. Borussia Dortmund only just turned 20 in May. Obviously French. Let's have a look at his season in the Bundesliga. 6 goals, 12 assists, played 32 games of 34. Shot accuracy, don't really care. Pass accuracy is 67%. Tackles won, 70%, so he is a grafter, which I think a lot of people probably didn't realise that about him. Pass accuracy 67%, goals 6, minutes, right-footed goals 3, left-footed goals 2, and a headed goal as well. So he's a very, very balanced player. Dembele is a very, very balanced player. Which I think actually, if I let's crack on with the show, because I want to talk about Mourinho's secret signings. Now, some people think he hasn't said there's going to be a secret signing. Some people think there has. I would lean towards that there will be, because I think we want to make a big statement, and that's something that that Woodward always wants to do. So who would they be? Well, let's start off. Where should we start off with? Let's get rid of the live comments for a moment. And let's go, you know, may as well go Ousmane Dembele. So Ousmane Dembele is behind me, as I said, 20 years of age. Now, this lad, I personally think that him staying in Dortmund for another year is probably the best thing for his development, if I'm totally honest. But Barcelona are after him. He likes Barcelona. As I said at the start of the video, 79 million is what Barcelona will pay to get him. It'll be a one-horse race. This is what United need to do. This is what we need to do. Woodward, the Glazers, they need a rocket up their arse. They're making billions out of Manchester United every year. We want the best players at Manchester United. We don't want bargain basement players like Perisic and Morata. They're good players, and they will be really good players for us, but we should be going for the best. As I said with Dembele, Barcelona are going to pay £80 million for him. Offer 90. Offer 90. See if Barcelona go up to 90. If they do, go up to 100 million. This lad's going to be worth 150 million the minute he signs for Barcelona this summer. The minute he signs, he'll be worth 150 million pounds. Because at Barcelona, he will actually perform better than he does at Dortmund. Because Real Madrid apart and Atletico Madrid apart, he's going to be stat padding for the next 2 years. And he's going to be showboating, and he's going to be looking fantastic. And the other thing about Barcelona is, they've got Messi, Neymar and Suarez. So why does Dembele want to go there? Is he going to force one of them out? Come to Manchester United. You're a first-team player. So he's one. I'd say, what I forgot to say is I'm going to give each player a mark out of 10 in relation to whether I think they'll come to Manchester United. So first of all, Ousmane Dembele, I would say a big fat 1 out of 10 at the moment. No, I'll knock it up to 2. I'll knock it up to 2 because he's liked a few tweets in relation to Manchester United. But realistically, Dembele is French. He knows Paul Pogba. There's no reason this deal cannot be the Paul Pogba deal of last summer if we go and blow people out the water. We didn't even have Champions League football and we signed Paul Pogba. And the reason we did it is if we'd messed around his actual value, which is about £60 million, Real Madrid or Barcelona would have took Pogba from us. We didn't. We went straight in there. We whacked a massive amount of money on there, £90 million, and went, who wants to play? And Real Madrid and Barcelona did not want to touch that deal at that amount of money. So we got Paul Pogba. And I think that's what we're missing this summer. That is what we're missing. And maybe Mourinho's been told, no, we're not overspending on anybody this summer. So you're going to have to, you know, your targets are going to have to be sort of realistic, and we're going to really barter for them, which is clearly what's going on with Perisic. But I tell you what, if you want Verratti, if you want Dembele, chuck in £20 more million than Barcelona and Real Madrid want to pay. And that's when United come into the scene. That's when we come into the scene. Arestas is on about Ronaldo. We'll wait for a minute. Hawkster says all the signings seem secret signings as no one seems to know what is going on. Well, we know that we're after Perisic, don't we? We do. Remember to drop a like on the video if you like the new setup. I think it's a nice new interactive thing from the Draughtic Devil. Hey Mark, why is the One Football app publishing... I didn't even know that they were, Mark. We'll have a look into that. I haven't seen their videos on there, but thanks for drawing attention to that. Very interested to know why that's going on. Will Barca be willing to let some leave if they want Dembele? Shane Poskett. Potentially they will. We'll have to wait and see, but potentially they will. Maybe they'll let Neymar come. And how well did that work for you, Shane? Maybe Neymar could be the secret signing for Manchester United. Now, I would straight away give you a mark out of 10 of this happening, and I would put it at 1 out of 10. I think it's low, but the reasons it's low is because Manchester United would probably have to pay around £200 million to sign Neymar, and we'd have very little of a transfer budget left. But it's well known that Ed Woodward wants to sign Neymar. He's wanted to sign him for the last 3 years. And I think if there was an opportunity to do that, he probably would try and sign him. He's under a good contract at Barcelona, but there is a buyout clause of around £200 million. And that has been a lot of mention. I think even his father said a few weeks ago he should come to Manchester United and be the big fish in a big pond instead of being in Messi's shadow. And even Messi made some comments about it a couple of weeks ago about maybe Neymar leaving. Well, maybe Dembele to Barcelona does free up an opportunity. If it's Suarez who leaves, I'd rather eat glass than have Suarez at Manchester United. Messi or Neymar would be nice. Neymar, I'd rank at 1 out of 10. If we got him, then the world would sit up and take note. As a marketing tool, he's probably second to none, really. He's the new big star alongside Ronaldo and Messi. He's a good footballer, and I don't think you could turn him down at Manchester United. But he certainly would be the surprise secret signing, but I don't see it being Neymar. But he's definitely worth a mention because I'd hate to have egg on my face if he actually happened. Back to Borussia Dortmund, Aubameyang. Now, this is a deal that, again, I don't understand why we aren't in for it. Maybe we are in for him, but we seem to be spending a lot of time around Morata when Aubameyang is better. Yes, he is. He's in his late 20s, 6'2", just won the Golden Boot. That's why Lewandowski's throwing his toys out of the pram because Aubameyang nicked it from him on the last game of the season. He's scoring more goals than Lewandowski, and Lewandowski's in a much better team for Bayern Munich. So he's got the pace, he's got the finishing ability, he runs the channels, he's good at holding the ball up. Whoever signs Aubameyang, and somebody will sign him, and if it's a Premier League club, he is going to, I've said it so many times, he will fit the Premier League like a glove and he will score a lot of goals. And if it's Manchester City, if it's Liverpool by some miracle, or it's Chelsea, I will be envious. I will be envious of whoever signs Fabinho. I'll be envious of whoever signs Aubameyang. He's a fantastic striker, and I think he would do an absolute fantastic job for any Premier League club. And I don't understand why we're not in for him, and I hope that we are. And I would actually rank Aubameyang out of 10 for Manchester United actually getting him. I would be going up from the 1 and 2 that I get for Dembele and Neymar, and I would go up to about 5 or 6. I mean, it's still not likely at 5 or 6 out of 10. But it is likely if we want to go and do the deal, and I don't feel that we do. I don't know why. I mean, he'd be the perfect number 9 for Manchester United. And I've always said, if he leaves Dortmund and doesn't go to Real Madrid, then United need a slap round the face, because he's always said he wants to play for Real Madrid. So if he leaves Dortmund and he's not going to Madrid, Manchester United should be at the front of the queue. Doesn't appear that we will be, but I think he's a fantastic striker. I really do. Let's go to James Rodriguez. I'm trying to go to James Rodriguez. I had him. I got him. James Rodriguez. Now, secret signing maybe not, because a lot of United fans go on about him a lot, but I like him. One of the left foot. A deal that I would say, again, I'll give you my score out of 10. 8 out of 10, because this deal could be done. The only thing that's stopping this deal is whether Manchester United want him or not, because he wants to come to Manchester United. The press leaks over the last 2 months have made that abundantly clear. Colombian radio, that can only be a link from him and his representatives. He wants to come to Manchester United, and who can blame him? Mid-20s, he's got loads of experience. He's actually done well for Real Madrid when he played last season. A fantastic player, absolute superb left foot, and would be, I agree with what a lot of United fans say. He actually is better than Mkhitaryan and Mata. I mean, Mata and Mkhitaryan are very good players, and Rodriguez plays in similar positions to him, and obviously we've got Pereira coming back, which would be the concern. But Rodriguez, £60 million, that's probably what we get him for. The downer is that you've got to deal with Real Madrid, but he wants to leave Real Madrid because he wants first team football, and at the age he is, whoever gets him, yet again, I hope it's not anyone in the Premier League, because I think he'll be a revelation. He's in his mid-20s, he's got a point to prove. It wasn't that long ago that he was touted as one of the best players in the world. Marketability is huge, and I don't think we understand that in the UK, because Rodriguez, we all know about him, but we don't know how big he is and his worldwide appeal, especially around South America. Massive, massive, massive appeal. You know what? He could be the secret signing, because it's like he's been so obviously linked to us. And whilst I just get this feeling Mourinho doesn't want him, I don't get the same feeling I do with Lukaku, that Mourinho doesn't want Lukaku. I think Rodriguez is such an easy deal to do, that you wonder why we haven't done it if we want him. That's the only thing. But I would give him an 8 out of 10. And I would welcome him at Manchester United. I really, really would. Harrietta says, we don't deal with Madrid, we deal with James. He's too good to be on the bench, says Cam Jones. He's 24, says Ryan Shields. He's not, he's 26 in July, mate. He's too good to be in on the bench. Maybe he's 25 in July. I might have got that wrong. I thought he was 26 in July. But he's even better. That's even better. Even better. His pace is the big downer, says Morgs plays. Yeah, I mean, he's not blessed with a load of pace, is he? But awesome guy. I do not rate James Rodriguez. The thing about Rodriguez, if we got him and we got a decent striker, they'd be putting chances on a plate for him, big time, big time. So that's James Rodriguez, as you can see there. James Rodriguez. Let's get rid of him. The next one I want to talk about is Kylian Mbappe. And again, I would put this into the same situation as Dembele. He's quite similar to Belotti as well, because he's a one-season wonder, effectively. I mean, he only turned 18 in December, so it's harsh to call him a one-season wonder, because he can't really do much when he's 17. Well, unless you're Wayne Rooney, of course. But the same with Belotti, as I was saying at lunchtime. When I look at Belotti, when I look at Mbappe, I see a player that will be, barring injury, one of the best players in world football over the next few years. It doesn't strike me as a one-season wonder. I look at someone like Riyad Mahrez, and I felt last season that he was a bit, he's a good player, but he was playing at his optimum last season for Leicester. I don't think he'll ever hit those heights again. I just think he's a very good player. I look at Mbappe and the season he's had, and I think, well, he can only get better. Obviously, again, like Dembele with Barcelona, Mbappe apparently wants to go to Real Madrid, and Real Madrid want to sign Mbappe. And maybe but Real Madrid have more of a gap for him, because even if they keep Ronaldo and Bale, which I'm sure they probably do, there's still a place for Mbappe, because Benzema and Isco, they probably would play Mbappe over one of those two. You're talking around £120 million, so the margin for error is not there. If Monaco were being realistic about his value and saying, well, we want 80 million or 70 million, then United could come in with 100 million, and then it's up to Real Madrid whether they want to get into a war. But I would do it. I would do it. I would. The great thing about pushing Real Madrid and Barcelona beyond what they want to pay is, if the player still decides to go to Real Madrid, maybe Real Madrid want to get him for 80 million. If we offered 110 million and Monaco went, well, we'll take that, Real Madrid, what are you going to do? Real Madrid go up to 110 million and he still goes to Real Madrid. Well, at least we've pushed them up by 30 million. At least we've messed them around a bit. And I think we should be that. We should be doing that. We should be forcing our rivals, our wannabe rivals, because obviously we've not been playing Real Madrid and Barcelona that much over the last 3 or 4 years. But we should be forcing their hand a bit. We did it with Pogba, and I've mentioned it a few times on this video tonight. We've done it with Pogba. We should be doing it again. You know, we may not be able to get the player, but if you don't reach for the sky, you know, you might not hit the moon. And that's what I'd do with Mbappe. I would just go and say, there's 110 million. Monaco, would you want to? Because Di Marzio's reported it a few times over the last 2 months. Mourinho is enthralled by Mbappe and would love to have him at Manchester United. Maybe Mbappe doesn't want to come to Manchester United, but offer 110 million, let him make the choice. I have heard over the last few hours that Mbappe might want to go to Arsenal just to develop himself under Arsene Wenger. I mean, if that happens, then football should be game over. I mean, that would just be ridiculous. I wouldn't say Mbappe is world class going off one season, and 120 million is stupid money, says Damien Hosty. No, I agree with that, Damien. I wouldn't say he's world class, but I've seen enough of him to know that he will be. I mean, he looks a fantastic player, and you can tell. You can tell if you played football or watched a lot of football. You can watch a player, and you know. I used to watch Danny Welbeck at United when he was, a young lad, and you'd watch him, and you wanted him to be a United striker of the future. But when you watched him, his poise, his technique, he was a bit gangly, a bit clumsy, and one-on-one situations, his head would go. And deep down, you knew he was never going to be a top Manchester United striker. But you liked him because he worked hard, but he never had that technique. You look at Rashford, and I think he's better than Welbeck, definitely. He can be a top striker. He just needs to sort a couple of things out around his game. You look at someone like Mbappe, and I look at him and I go, his poise, his ability, his technique, his pace, he's got the attributes. He looks a world-class player elect, and you can see that in players. Real Madrid's United rivals, Richard, I don't know what, Shari Kari's making a contribution again. I think he's a Real Madrid fan. Say it with me, people. Mbappe. Should we sell Mata for James, says William Harappa. No, I wouldn't be getting rid of Mata, if I'm totally honest. Chances of Mbappe coming to Manchester United, I've always felt that he could be the shock surprise signing. So I'm going to, just backing myself a bit, I'm going to give him 7 out of 10, a 7 out of 10 chance of happening. I think he will move, and it will be Real Madrid or it will be Manchester United with Mbappe. I can't see him going anywhere else. Gareth Bale. Remember, we're talking the secret signings tonight, so I'm just going through all of them. I'm not saying we're going to sign them. I'm giving them a mark out of 10, and I'm telling you what I think about them. So Gareth Bale. Again, quite similar to Neymar, really. Very, very difficult to do the deal, but probably is another player that Edward would like to sign. Premier League proven. Late 20s, about to turn 28 this summer, which is no big problem. If he could replicate the form that he had for Spurs, again, at Manchester United, we'd probably win the title. He's that good a player. Yes, he has the slight concerns about his injuries, but we're a team that plays Jesse Lingard. We're a team that's going to keep Phil Jones this summer. What are we moaning about injuries for when you can bring in a player who is, world class? Would Gareth Bale want to come back to the Premier League? Well, why not? He's British. He's achieved everything at Real Madrid. Does he want to stay in Real Madrid? Probably. But does he ever look settled at Real Madrid? He always looks to me like a foreigner on holiday for Real Madrid. It's like, they accept him, they like him, but he never looks totally as if he's bought into the Real Madrid way of life. Maybe that's just my interpretation, I don't know. But I would take Gareth Bale at Manchester United. The problem with it, again, he's a Real Madrid player. The same problem we have with Morata, the same problem we'd have if we tried to sign James Rodriguez, and the same thing with Gareth Bale. Florentino Perez really likes him. They'd want silly money for him, and he'd have to force the move. Much the same as David De Gea's got to force the move to Real Madrid. That's what Real Madrid are basically saying. So Gareth Bale, the chances of him happening, I wouldn't say it's out of the question. I wouldn't put him at 2 out. I'd probably go 3 out of 10 with Gareth Bale happening. Yeah, I would. Moodle Stringy says Talisca is coming. Well, I pity us all if he is. He's crap, and I'll argue that with anybody because I've watched him play, and he's not Premier League quality. And I personally, I don't think we're even in for him. I think it's him trying to sort out his contract situation because at the end of the day, he's a Benfica reject playing for Besiktas in a poor league, and I can't see for the life of me how somebody playing in the Turkish league for a poor side in a poor league, you could look at them and say that them skills are transferable to the Premier League. And also, he'll struggle to get a work permit, which is the biggest thing, because Liverpool tried to sign him before. Darshan says that United are reportedly close to signing French teen Alou Traoré for academy. Yep, from PSG, another youth talent coming through, which is great. Lynn Hall wouldn't want to spend what Bale would cost, especially paying to Real with an injury fear hanging over the player. Need guarantees for that money. Shushan Belly says that Bale's never looks like their record signing, which is true. And yet rates Mbappe, says Dwarfy15. Yet rates Mbappe. Surely you're not comparing Talisca to Mbappe. If you are, wash your mouth out with soap and get an early night. Where's your Lacoste shirt, says Reza. Well, I'm wearing United Stand stuff tonight. Donnarumma is a surprise. Well, I could see Donnarumma coming to Manchester United, to be honest. I can see Donnarumma coming to Manchester United because I still fear that David De Gea will leave Manchester United. So I could see Donnarumma coming. And as I said the other night, Donnarumma has basically sold himself out of Serie A. There's no going back with AC Milan. He said he's not going to go to Juventus, so he's going to leave Serie A. Where's he going to go? PSG? What a waste of time that is. Minireola might send him there to make a bit of money, but their keeper's okay. But it's a waste of time for a lad like him. Premier League or La Liga is where he's going to come. He's either going to go to Real Madrid or he's going to go to Manchester United, because he won't be going to Barcelona. And every other club in the Premier League, well, City have just spent a load of money on a nobody. Chelsea have got the Belgian keeper who's decent, and he ain't going to go to Arsenal or Liverpool or Spurs, is he? So he's coming to United or he's going to Real Madrid. And to be honest with you, when you look at it logically like that, it makes more sense that Real Madrid want De Gea. So De Gea to Real Madrid, Donnarumma to Manchester United. And to be honest, if that happened, I don't want De Gea to go, but I would be excited by Donnarumma. Very, 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 very good player. Just want to check. Yeah, here he comes. Cristiano Ronaldo, secret signing. Well, I don't move. I'm not going to be an arsehole and move from 1 out of 10, which is what I've been saying for the last few days, down to 0.5 out of 10. But it's certainly not gone up. There's a lot of anger. One thing I have noticed a lot about, and I would say, the United Stand community is fantastic. Try and just take a deep breath. I know it's hot in the UK, but try and take a deep breath with everybody. Because what I've started to notice a lot across social media is people turning on, friendly fire, people turning on each other. Oh, the window doesn't open until July the 1st. And then the other end of the spectrum, this is the worst transfer window ever. It's boring. It's the worst ever. The truth is somewhere in between. We probably should have signed 1 or 2 players more than we have by now. But it's not the worst transfer window ever either. There's still a lot of time left. There's weird market conditions. Griezmann sort of screwed us over, which did put our plans into jeopardy, as I was discussing last night. But there's still time to turn it round. And the hardest thing is the Morata deal. Mourinho obviously wants Morata, but to be dealing with Real Madrid on any normal circumstance is very difficult. But to be dealing with them now, when they want De Gea and we don't want to give them De Gea, and when they're having to deal with the Ronaldo situation, and they don't actually want to sell Morata, it's very, very hard. You've got Morata who wants to come to United, and United have got to deal with Real Madrid to get him there, and it's very difficult. And hopefully it won't take much longer. Chris Jericho says 1.25 out of 10 for Ronaldo. Well, apparently Ronaldo is very encouraged by what Florentino Perez said the other night, which is basically blowing wind up his backside and telling him how great he is for Real Madrid, which you should have been able to predict that before. I don't agree with the Ronaldo's used us to get a better deal. I don't recall him saying anything about Manchester United. I recall him saying irreversible damage done and wants to leave Real Madrid. Well, that's what the press was reporting, which could have been a load of nonsense. But it's the fans and the press who, when there's rumour that Ronaldo might leave, it's the fans and the press who start going on about Cristiano Ronaldo coming to Manchester United. It's not him. So I don't really begrudge him for that. And I don't know what you lot think about it, but I don't. It's frustrating. I was, as much as I don't think he's coming, when it was announced this morning that he's, looking at staying at Real Madrid now, there was a part of me that was annoyed because, if you don't dream, you don't allow yourself to dream even a little bit, then life becomes a bit of a boring place. So, yeah, I was dreaming that Ronaldo might come back to Manchester United, but the reality is I never thought it would happen. And that's life, isn't it? That is life. We take it for what it is. But I do believe there will be a secret signing. And I'm glad for that comment that somebody said about Donnarumma, because I think that one's very interesting, and it's one that I spoke about a few days ago, that, you know, you will see a lot on social media, you will see stuff on, you know, certain outlets, but we do tend to, because we talk a lot and we are interactive, we will sort of give things out that, you know, you probably won't hear for a few days or at all. Something may never come of it. But I did say it a few days ago, I feel that Donnarumma is either going to Real Madrid or Manchester United, and when you look at it logically, why would Real Madrid sign Donnarumma when they want De Gea? Now, either way, it's not a bad situation for Manchester United, because if Donnarumma does go to Real Madrid, then we keep De Gea. Happy days. Donnarumma's like 18, so they're never going to be coming back for De Gea again. If De Gea goes to Real Madrid, which is what I think he wants to do, we can't stop him. And Mourinho doesn't want players who don't want to be there, and it's hard, but we'd have to swallow that pill. But then you get Donnarumma, who I think will be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So it's exciting, that situation, because we're either going to keep De Gea, which is ideal, or we're going to get Donnarumma, because I can't see him going anywhere other than Real Madrid or Manchester United. So that's an exciting one. That's an exciting one. But the secret signing, who will it be? James Rodriguez, Mbappe, Neymar, Bale, Ronaldo, Dembele, Mbappe. I'd be happy with any of them, wouldn't you? I really would. And I hope that we can get one of them. And as I started the show with, we've just got to be aggressive with the money. We're not Liverpool or Arsenal. We've not got a budget where we've got a limit and we can't go above it. We've got loads of money. The Glazers just need to release it, because I tell you what, we could sign Ousmane Dembele this summer. We could just go and offer 80, 90 million pounds straight away. And if Barcelona wants a bidding war, let's see how high they want to go. And if we have to push them up to a price they don't want to pay and he still goes, well, we've made him overpay for somebody, haven't we? Or we might land on our feet and get somebody like we did with Pogba last year, because that's what happened. It just frustrates me when I look at Barcelona chasing, especially Verratti and Dembele, and it's like they're having a free run at it, and they'll probably get them for a decent price. Go to PSG, and if Verratti's going for 60 million, offer 80. Make Barcelona pay 80 million for him. Verratti might want to go to Barcelona, but make them pay a decent price. This is what, you know, I think. I'm not convinced Pogba will be at Manchester United for the rest of his career. I would imagine in 2-3 years' time he'll be angling for a move to Barcelona or Real Madrid, because I believe that's where he wanted to go in the first place. That's not a problem. I don't think any less of Pogba for that. We just put an irresistible financial package in front of him and his agent, and they took it. And I think that's football now. There's very little loyalty. It's all about money. I mean, if Donnarumma comes to Manchester United, let's be totally honest about it, I'd welcome him if De Gea leaves Real Madrid. Donnarumma would be one of my choices to replace him, and I'd welcome him at Manchester United, and we'd all applaud him and say what a great goalkeeper he is. But the fact is, he's leaving a club that he's been at. It's not his boyhood club, but he's been there since a young age. He's young himself. He really should be staying at AC Milan, but Riola's got in his ear and he wants a bit more money, and he's leaving AC Milan. That's your modern footballer for you. So if you don't play the game, you don't win the game. You just got to chuck the money at them, and that might annoy a lot of people, but as I said before, we haven't got a lot of homegrown talent coming through that's world class at the moment, so you've got to buy that talent. Charles Thomas says Aubameyang, Sanchez, Nainggolan and Danny Rose, and I'll be buzzing. I think we all would. Dybala says awesome guy. Again, I've not included Dybala in it because I don't think it will happen, but go knocking on Juventus' door again and say there's 100 million. Dybala apparently wants to go to Barcelona. Barcelona want Dybala. Well, they can't have Dybala and Dembele. Maybe they want Dembele this summer and Dybala next summer. Maybe that's their plan. Screw their plan. We're Manchester United. Start making it difficult for these clubs. They might want to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid. Doesn't mean we have to sit on our hands and just let it happen. These are clubs we aspire to be better than. These are clubs we want to be winning the Champions League instead of. Don't sit back and let them just dictate. The biggest problem is Ronaldo's at Real Madrid, Messi's at Barcelona. These are the two best players in world football, bar none, and they've had them there for the last 5 years plus. In 5 years' time, those two players won't be the best players in the world. They'll probably have retired, or they'll be on the massive decline. But Real Madrid are already looking at players to replace those two. You look at Mbappe, you look at Dembele, they could be the next Ronaldo and Messi in 5 years' time. We need to be getting hold of these players or challenging them for these players. Otherwise, the cycle will never change. It's just going to be dominance from two clubs. And we need to change that cycle. We really, really do. Shazwell's on about Alexis Sanchez. A lot of people like Alexis Sanchez, but I feel that Manchester United have probably sounded that out. And as I said a few weeks ago, the thing about Alexis Sanchez is Arsenal will not want to sell him to any Premier League club. So he's got to be like Van Persie was, where Arsenal wanted to sell him to Juventus, but Van Persie was like, I want to stay in the Premier League and I want to go to Manchester United, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they let him come. Alexis Sanchez would have to be in that same situation. I want to go to Manchester United. I'm not going anywhere else. I don't feel he is. I think he might be saying it about Pep and Man City, but I don't think he's saying it about Manchester United. And I'd love to be proved wrong, because he would be a very, very good player. Oh, don't mention Cavani, ROL. I can't stand him. Pepe. I mean, Pepe, again, I had this rant this afternoon. I'm fed up of us being linked to players that are effectively cast-offs of clubs that we should be better than. You know, I said it about Eric Dyer on Twitter today, and people were like, Eric Dyer played so many games for Spurs, he's hardly a cast-off. And what I meant by that is that if Spurs sell as Eric Dyer, it's because they want to sell as Eric Dyer because they feel they can get somebody else, or there's somebody better in the club already. The same with Matic at Chelsea. If they don't want to sell Dyer and Matic, they won't be selling them. If they do want to sell them, then we'll be buying them. So that means they are cast-offs that they don't want. I don't want Manchester United signing players that are cast-offs from clubs that we want to be better than, especially Premier League ones. You need to be going to clubs like Monaco for Fabinho, to Torino for Belotti, to Dortmund for Dembele, and buying players that those clubs don't want to sell, but we're forcing their hand with massive, massive money. That's what we need to do. Get players who are hungry, who aren't cast-offs by clubs that we should be better than anyway. But we are judging this transfer window based on a lot of what's in the press, and hopefully a lot of it's not true. There's still a long time to go, and I hope to God that some of these signings that I've spoke about tonight, at least one of them would be great. But I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not overly frustrated by it. I'm a little bit impatient, but we're all impatient, aren't we? But I'm not sat there as well going, oh, the transfer window doesn't open until July the 1st. Last season was a bit difficult. We got different. We got Bailly in. We got Pogba in later on because he was on holiday and all sorts of that. And we did get Zlatan and Mkhitaryan in the first week of July. But Manchester United need to sign at least another 3 or 4 players. Getting 3 or 4 players done in 1 week in July, I can't see that being done. I'm not saying it can't, but I can't see that being done. So if we've not signed anybody else by the end of June, I think it's safe to say we're not going to get all our transfer business done by the time we go on the US tour. And that would be a bit of a failure because this list has been with Woodward for a long time. So we need to be hitting it a little bit harder. That's what I would say. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. Drop a like on the video if you like this new setup. We are trying to mix things up a bit. I really like the live comments behind me like that. It's nice to be in a different studio. It's nice to be able to get some graphics up on there as well. So let us know your feedback on that. The OneFootball app that I was using before, the link is in the video description. It's a free download on Android and iTunes. Very, very useful for your latest United news and your stats like that if you're interested in like your pass accuracy and stuff like that. And also, as I said last night, Manchester United t-shirts are now available. A few of you bought some last night. I said that one of the people who bought them would be picked out at random and get a second shirt. I can tell you that winner is, I haven't seen him commenting tonight, so hopefully he will be watching, James Murphy. You will be getting another one. Get in contact with us through the live comments, the message section of YouTube. Tell us what colour you've ordered and what you'd want as a second one, and we'll get one out to you. If you want a United Stand t-shirt, link is in the video description. Available in the UK and the USA at the moment. They're the only 2 places, but we are working with it. And it's through Amazon, so it's legitimate. And if you order one, you'll probably get it within the next couple of days with your Prime and all that lot. So t-shirts available. OneFootball app in the link description as well. Take a look in there. But really enjoyed the show tonight. Nice to go on a different tangent. I think we're all getting a little bit fed up with Lewandowski to United, Talisca to United. Bit clickbaity, and I put my hands up and say yes, it's been like that for a couple of weeks now. I wanted to do something a little bit different because I think we're all getting a little bit frustrated and it's hot in the UK, and I think we just needed a little step back. Doesn't seem to be anything going on with United at the moment, so a little bit of a step back and a little bit about what United Stand's all about really, which is just having a conversation and a chat openly about the situation. And so I've really enjoyed doing that. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you. I'm back tomorrow at 7 AM with the transfer show as per usual. And if anything happens later tonight, we'll obviously go live. But thanks everyone for watching. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Click the bottom right hand corner, the hologram there. And t-shirts, OneFootball app is in the link for the video description. Thanks everyone. Speak to you all soon. Really enjoyed tonight's show.